Okay, so welcome to Practical Problem Solving and Programming. This is the second chapter, the blue lessons. Lesson 3, we're going to be looking at case statements and arrays or lists. Objectives are to understand and use pseudocode case statement, and we're going to explore the use of lists and arrays. Didn't look at the case statement in lesson, but I'm adding it to this video. So obviously just have a look at it, and then if you need any further information on case statements, then have a look at the videos by Liam McQuay. Case statements. Now with case statements are very similar to if statements. With a case statement, you would put in, so the user would input a name, and what it would do, it would run through a set of lines, and it would check the variable matches with one of those names. So if the user was to put in the name Thomas, it would go through this selection and see that line 3 there. If name equals Thomas, then it would output the text work on part 1. However, if the user inputted the name, let's say Alice, it would check each line against the data that's been put into the variable, and it would check it up until the name Alice appears in the list of searches. If none of the names appear on that list, or if the person types in the wrong name, etc., it would move on to the otherwise statement, and it would say name not on the list. In any case, you need to make sure you end the case with the statement end case. But have a look at Liam McQuay's video. He uses the case statement in Java, so he uses Java as an example. At the moment, whilst I was looking at task 1 and task 2 of the pre-released, didn't really need to use the case statement. That's why I decided not to deliver it in the lesson. But by all means, if you want to know a bit more about it and have a look at it in a bit more detail, have a look at Liam McQuay's videos. I can't remember which one it was. I think it is titled Case Statement. Okay, so to start off with, did a little hook to the lesson. We said, what do we actually see? Well, on the right hand side we've got a shopping list, and we've got the Premier League table as a list as well. So two of the most common tasks in computer programming is to sort data into a particular order and searching for particular items of information. Okay, so there's millions and millions of different sort of items that are stored in programs and in software that you would use. If you didn't have some sort of searching or some sort of sorting of data, finding it would actually be very inefficient. So just have a look at this statement that I've written here. Imagine the confusion and difficulty of having to find something in a dictionary if it wasn't even in alphabetical order. There are some other examples there, so please do read those statements as well. So using arrays is actually quite important for a programmer. So let's see how arrays actually work. Okay, all sorting and searching algorithms work on lists of data. And as you already know, a variable stores just a single value. For example, when you are storing the number 16 into the age variable, you're setting it as an integer. You would only store that one number in that variable. Same with the first name there. We've got the name John going into the first name variable, which is set as a string. So what if programmers wanted to store loads of related values, such as the names of a group of friends? A tedious way of doing this could be to write a set of variables like this. So we'd have to declare each variable. Oopsie daisy, I've done some mistake there. That's better. So we've got the name Lucinda going into friend 1, Ali going into friend 2, and then Rekha going into friend 3. So it'd be much easier if we've actually filled all the names in one variable, where the variable stored all the names at the same time. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use arrays to allow us to do that. Okay, so an array with an identifier or array friends would store the data items like this. So you'd have this array called array friends, and within here you have got, that's supposed to be an arrow there. Within here you've got three names. You've got Lucinda, Ali, and Rekha. Now, initially we gave variable numbers. We gave friend 1, friend 2, friend 3. But in this case, we've got something called index positions or elements, but they're actually called index positions in our schema work. So Lucinda will be at the position 0, Ali will be at position 1, and Rekha will be at position 2. So here are your three elements or three indexes in this variable. So just going through the indexes in arrays. So we've got the array friends. Within here we've got three names that are stored in this variable. We've got index 0, 1, and 2. So each element in an array has an index number. In the example above, the index number for Lucinda is 0, and the index number for Rekha is 2. So index numbering always starts at 0, because remember, in computing, a computer recognizes the number 0 as an actual number. So we need to make sure we start off as 0, 1, 2, etc. You can actually add a new index or new element, so you can actually insert it. Within pseudocode, this will be the code to insert it. So you'd say array friends, the index position you want this text to go into, in this case index position 3, so you want Sadiq's name to be added to position 3 and Tisha's to position 4. So this is what would happen. The array actually becomes a longer list now. So now we've got Lucinda, Ali, Rekha, Sadiq, and Tisha at position 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now 3 represents the index position, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, which is Sadiq. Okay, Sadiq has been put into index position 3. So within the lesson, what I want you to have a go at is some of these in Python. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a look at, in fact, because it's a video, I'm gonna show you an example of this. So I'm just going to pause this and open up my IDLE, and I'm going to go through some of these codes with you, and we'll show you how it works in a Python environment. Now Python, we'll notice that some of the notations are actually different to pseudocode, but pseudocode can be translated into Python quite easily, and vice versa as well. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm just going to open up Python, and we'll resume the video in a minute. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how to create a list in Python. So if I type in my list equals in Python, use these square brackets, and then now if you notice, we didn't have to declare this as a string, because in Python, once you put in the speech marks in with quotation marks, it already saves it as a string. So we've got lemon, pear, whoopsie daisy. So we've got pear. Where's that? There we go. So we've got pear, and then we've got another one. This one is lime. So we're going to close brackets, and then that adds that to the list. So now my list exists in the memory of Python. So how do we show an individual element? Well, if I was to type in my list 0, oops, wrong brackets, my list 0, and in position 0 it's apple, that should display the word apple on the screen, and it has. It's shown the word apple on the screen. So that code there shows us one item in the variable, in the list or array. So what we want to do next is I want to change item number 2. and I want to change it to strawberry. So item number 2 is 0, 1, 2. So it's lemon. We're going to change lemon to strawberry. So if I say my list, and we're going to do index position 2, I'm going to say that now equals to strawberry, which is quite nice. I just had some. So at the moment, once we pressed enter, we can't visually see that something has happened. So how can we display it? Well, we're going to do the same code here. We're just going to type in my list. So if I type in my list, it should show the complete list. And if you notice there, the lemon has now changed into juicy strawberries. So the next topic, or the next task that we're going to try and do, is we're going to find out how to delete items on a list. So the delete function in Python, you have to type in del. So that's the syntax to delete something in Python. Now, we're going to type in our variable, and we're going to say the index position. So what we're going to do, we're going to delete, we'll delete position 0, which is apple. So when I press enter, so hopefully that has deleted. So we're going to double check. So we'll print my list again, and an apple has actually deleted. Now you will notice now that oranges, strawberry, and pear and lime, their index positions have actually changed now, because originally apple was 0. Now oranges is 0. So now oranges is 0, strawberry is 1, and pear is 2, and then that's 3. Okay, so now the positions have been changed, so we need to obviously be aware of that. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to add to that list. I'm going to add into position 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to add a kiwi, which I've also just had as well. No incidents there. So this time in Python, we're going to type in my list dot append. Okay, and what we're doing, we're adding kiwi to the list. Notice I haven't put these square brackets because we're not actually choosing an index position within the variable. What I'm doing is I'm adding to the variable. So I'm telling the list, I'm saying to the list, right, I'm looking at you, I'm going to do something with you, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to you. I am not going to look at a particular index position, I'm just going to add to your list. So if I press enter, nothing has happened. So to print out the list, so we can just double check it and test it to show that the list is all there. Well, we type in my list, and now we've got oranges, strawberry, pear, lime, and kiwi. And just to test something, so if I type in my list, and I type in 0, 1, 2, which should print out pear, and it has. Originally we put in strawberry at position number 2, but now strawberry has moved to position 1 because we deleted position 0, which is apple. So now the new list, which says orange, strawberry, pear, lime, and kiwi. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do now is the success criteria for this lesson. So remembering that data types can be declared when you're assigning a list. Just keep that in mind. Just think about that the lists can be changed, they can be added to, and we're going to go through activities 12.2.1, 2.2, 2.3, and 2.4. So if you pause the video at this point, have a go at those activities, and then I'll go through the answers as well. So if you just pause away, and we'll go through the answers on the next slide. See. Okay, so there are Excel activities which I find still relevant, so we'll have a go at these. So here are the activities. So the first activity is 2.1. So we're going to complete this table to summarize the list commands. So we are using Python. Python is our the program we're going to be using to answer these questions. So to create a list is my list equals and then square brackets, and you assign whatever data that you're putting into that list. So we've got reference items on a list. So you just need to obviously any answer as long as you've written that the index starts at 0. So deleting an item on the list, it's the del command, the list name, and then you need to declare the index position. To append an item on the list, it's list name dot append, and then the item that you want to add to the list, not the index position, okay, because it automatically goes into the end. Now if you wanted to change something on in the list, you have to say the index position, and then you have to say what it actually equals to, or the new data that is going into that variable. So let's have a look at 12.2.2. So the list arrays. List is a data structure that stores a set of elements. Lists are assigned to a name using square brackets. So here is a Python code assigning a list to a variable. So each element in a list has an index location. Elements of a list are referenced using the index. Range of elements can be displayed using the start index. Okay, so here are a few questions. So make this list and experiment with the list commands. It says here, what does my list 1 display, 1 to 3, or 1 to 3? What does my list -1 display, etc. So we're going to go through these answers. So let's have a look at the first one. So the first one, it says there, what does my list 1 display? Well, it displays orange. 1 to 3, orange and lemon. Okay. So what it does here, it displays the first data that's in that list and the last data in your selection. So it's your range. Okay, so you're selecting apple and you're selecting lemon. Okay, yeah. So what does -1 display? Well, it counts down. So all the numbers here at the moment, we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I scroll up. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, -1 actually becomes -1 there, and then we've got -2 position, -3, and we've got -4 and -5 would be there. Those would be your positions if you were asked a question in terms of counting down. Okay, so that's what the numbers would represent. Okay. So the next one here, we've got what command will display just apple. We've got my list is 0. Command that displays lemon and pear, which is 2 to 4. Okay, so lemon and pear. Display a whole list. So we've got my list. Display. Make a new list called my food. So here are my favorite foods. Okay. Displaying the whole list, so we just type in my list and it should come up. It should come up. Okay, displaying the list. So just typing in that would show up. These selections would show up. So display the item at index position 3. Now I'm going to use mine because obviously you all have your own. So index position 3 is 0, 1, 2, 3, which is frozen peas. Displaying the index position 0, which is chips, and then index position 1 to 4, well, that would include pizza, chicken, and frozen peas. So it'll be all the selections within that range. Okay. Yeah. We've got a little bit of a message there. Hang on. Okay, so the answer for activity 2.3 is there on the right hand side, so you can pause the video and just double check your answers. So it's quite a not a difficult task. So we've got to make a list that contains the class marks for Amy Jones. So there's the lists. So we need to input that into Python. It says that the English teacher has entered Amy's marks incorrectly. It should be 72, not 76. So alter this item in the field. So here is the mark, and you could just type in marks 3 equals 72, which is here. Okay, so when you print it out, your list should be correct. Adding Amy's marks for physics, here is the code for that, and appending it, and then showing it, and you notice that it comes up at the end of the list. Removing the maths score, okay, so deleting a range. So we got a maths score, which is there. Okay, so it's maths and 76, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, positions 4 and 5, and it would delete 4 and 5, which was in here. We're writing a program to find the average score for these 3 subjects. Well, yeah. So so there's the program to find the average score for those 3 subjects. We've got Mark 3, Mark 5, and Mark 7. Divide that by 3 gives you an average of 77.6. I hope you found this lesson useful on case statements and mostly on arrays. Just make sure you have a go at the tasks. The copy of the PowerPoints will be on Edmodo along with the copy of the questions. And yeah, any questions, just feel free to email me or speak to me in lesson. Goodbye.